Hey, this is Rick with Social Good Software. In this short demo, I'm going to be sharing with you how to create an attribute for a particular list. Now, for every list you create, you will need this attribute to be created for that particular list. So if you have a list for today's visitors, if you have a list for active members, if you have a list for everybody that purchased in the last 30 days, if you have a list for current donors that have donated this year, etc., you will need to go in and create a attribute for each of those lists. In my case, it's a really simple list that I'm working on here. It's just going to be called today's visitors, and this is going to be a rolling list that's always going to be updated because I want to have essentially everybody that has visited today being synced over to Constant Contact or MailChimp or whatever integration you might be working with. So this is super handy because every day when I look at that list and I send a message out, it's going to go particularly to only those folks that belong to that list, which in my case is today's visitors. Now, you might be thinking what list names you're going to name it or how you're going to come up with the names, etc. It's pretty simple. The way I like to name things is simply by describing what it is. So in my case, it's called today's visitors. So it's fairly simple. I'm going to go ahead and create an attribute called for today's visitors. Now, if you have a general mailing list, like a main mailing list, you can just call it main list. So something like that should work as well. Again, the name here should be descriptive of who they are, what group they belong to, and making sure that it's readable and maintainable into the future. So in my case, it's pretty simple. I just want a list for today's visitors. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and create this. I'm going to go to administration, and then I'm going to go to attribute categories. I'm going to go ahead and click on add, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a name, today's visitors. Now for the record type, this is going to be a constituent. For the data type, this is going to be a yes or a no. And then you want to make sure you check this little box. This is allow only one per record. So this is pretty much just an attribute we're setting on this particular categories that says today's visitors. And then this pretty much just says, does this person currently belong to the today's visitors list? And if it does, it'll be a yes or a no. If it doesn't, then it will either be empty or it would be marked as a no. All right, very good. So I'm going to go ahead and click on save. And that's pretty much going to go do it here. That's pretty much all there is to the categories. So if you have different categories you want to add, you totally can. Just go to add. Now you can go ahead and add any category here. So if you have a main mailing list that you just want to have that's currently running all the time, and this just includes maybe everybody that has decided to receive messages from you. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this one main mailing list. And same as before, we're going to go ahead and select record type. We're going to select constituent. Data type, we're going to say yes or no. And then we're going to check this little box. This is allow one per record. So this will go ahead and create an attribute called main mailing list. Now, if you have other mailing lists that you want to go ahead and set up, you totally can. You just go through the same process that we just went through. I'm going to go ahead and click on save. And that goes ahead and creates those main mailing lists there. So at this point, you should have the unsubscribed, today's visitors, and main mailing list pretty much all ready to go there for you. And that's going to go ahead and do it here for me. Once again, this is Rick from Social Good Software. Hopefully you found this video helpful. We're always looking to improve and make things better. If something was not clearly explained in this video, or maybe you just are still a little bit confused and have some additional questions that we didn't talk about in the video, don't worry, we're here to help. Please go over to socialgoodsoftware.com/feedback. You're able to provide us feedback on this training. You're able to provide us feedback on the software. We're always looking to improve. So if you have any suggestions, please reach out to us. Again, socialgoodsoftware.com/feedback. You'll be able to go ahead and share your thoughts with us, and we're always happy to help.